And we're live.
So we were playing zombies today, and Mitty's like, "Oh my god, have you seen this photograph of Rudy Giuliani?" And I'm like, "What did he do now?" And Mitty's like, "He melted. He melted on national television." And I'm like, "What do you even?" And I Google it. Rudy Giuliani's hair dye. He was sweating so profusely at this press conference that his hair dye is running down all the way to his jawline. These black streaks of hair dye on both cheeks.
Doesn't that mean that he like finished putting in his hair dye like 30 minutes before
It means he sprays it on instead of using like actual hair dye.
Yeah. Just for men, touch a spray.
Something. He's just spraying some shit in there. He's like,
is that why it's bald on his sideburn, kind of?
Who's that other guy that did the paint can thing and hid that a little bit? Because, yeah, I need to look up the Giuliani.
Do you see how there's like it's lacking depth and I kind of
I see.
Yeah, he did a little spray fill in that bald stripe.
My guess
it's not even
is
a bald
that,
spot; it's a bald stripe.
My guess is that his hair is very thin, and he sprays something in it to make it thicker. It's not.
Yeah,
it's colored, but it's also thickened a little bit.
He's also painted his skull to some extent here. Look at the look on his face. That's not very becoming.
No, I didn't even notice the look because that drip of
there's
gross old man liquid is right there.
He makes a lot of like expressive faces. So there's a zillion Giuliani photos where he looks expressive. I don't know how to say it better.
He's a New York Italian, very expressive guy.
Yeah.
Lots of hand waving. That's why he got so sweaty. That was his cardio for the day, given the press conference.
At one point during the presser, he pulls out his hanky and he blows his nose profusely into it, picks a few boogers.
Gross.
And then he does this thing where he folds it, but he folds it the wrong way. He folds it boogers and snot out. I haven't gotten to the best part. Then he starts wiping the sweat.
I can see it coming.
He wipes his whole brow and cheeks with it, with booger side out. Like, I can't think of anything worse to do in the pandemic. Like, he blows as much snot onto this rag as he can and then smears snot and boogers all over his goddamn face. In front of the world.
You know who would hate this? You know who would hate this more than anyone I can think of? Donald Trump. Donald Trump is all about like the optics and the cosmetics of how his situation goes down. He doesn't just want attorneys. He wants TV attorneys. He wants people to argue in the court of public opinion oftentimes. When he asks for someone, he sometimes says, I want a guy from Central Casting. I think a big part of why Mike Pence got the vice president job is he looks like he's supposed to be vice president. He looks like that guy.
He does.
He also courts the Christian vote. But like, I think the look of it, Chris Christie might be vice president right now if he and Pence swiped bodies. But
yeah.
Oh yeah. He's too fat. There's no way. I remember us saying for a while that we thought, this is fucking almost 5 years ago now, that we thought that Trump might do the opposite, where he picked Chris Christie as a vice president so that he always looked slim by comparison, because it is impossible to look bad standing next to Chris Christie.
Dude,
you look your best. If I wanted to like make the best Tinder photo ever, I would go to a Chris Christie meet and greet.
I need Chris Christie on my Twitch streams, right? Imagine the two of us doing push-ups every time I died. You know how buff I'd look?
Giuliani, give me your rag. So sweaty.
That'd be so funny. He like ends up being decent at it, and you're like, you know what? You're actually a pretty cool guy, Chris.
He's doing those clap push-ups. He's like pounding it out. He's looking, and like his head, his eyes are constantly focused on what as he's doing the clap push-ups.
Right. Just like intimidating me, diamond.
Come on, pussy.
He's just immensely strong.
He's like that. He's like what's the villain from like Daredevil and Spider-Man? The Kingpin. He's like the Kingpin. He just looks obese, but really that's all muscle under there.
Yeah, I bet Trump
I think that's what it is.
Hates this optic. I bet when he heard Giuliani did the napkin, the handkerchief wrong, and the hair dye sweating, and he's just like, this is the worst.
I think I might have the video of Giuliani doing that if I dig around a little.
Yeah. Find the hanky of him with boogers in his face.
Maybe it's,
or we might not be able to watch
a Twitter video. Oh.
It's like we can't show anything nowadays. Reddit videos, they all get trouble.
YouTube won't let you show fucking any news shit. They only let like CNN and Fox do it. Very annoying.
Yeah. I've
remember
seen
when
Trump
you could like search stuff on YouTube about like politics and it would be like whatever organically was the most popular created thing. And
I could say that
here's
about everywhere.
10 pages
everything
of establishment media.
I remember like H3H3 would make videos, like YouTube trending, for example. And it'd be like, oh, look at this trending video, everyone. 45,000 views in a day. Like, look, that's not bad. But we're over here at like 1.6 million. Are we trending? No. YouTube is like skipping over H3H3 for some reason. And he seemed right.
Because they make more money that way.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. But I guess you always thought, you always, I put you in it, but YouTube was supposed to be this like almost democratic thing, right?
A meritocracy.
Whatever rises to the top, rises to the top. Meritocracy is better. And it's not necessarily like that. It can be cultivated. People they can pick and choose winners.
It can be paid for. It can be bought and paid for. Like
it's so cultivated at this point. Like you'll like search some current event news, and like some YouTuber who talks about it will have like 300,000 views, and you have to use like special words to not say exactly what happened so that they don't get flagged for not being CNN or Fox. And then it'll be like a CNN or Fox clip that's an eighth the views. It's a fucking news station, so how many people are commenting and being engaging in there? Really, like it's annoying. Like I really wish YouTube would go back to doing what you said, the meritocracy thing. Like whatever is kind of the best thing gets put forward. Like CNN and Fox don't have enough power behind them already. Fuck you. They shouldn't get the front 5 pages. That's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I'm looking at the video of Giuliani. It literally is running down both cheeks.
Yes.
And like he's turning his head left and right. Like, and it's a close up of him. He wasn't in the background. He's giving a speech.
Where's his hair?
I try to like check my own bias, right? I aspire to have things right, not just whatever pleases me. But how does the right not see Giuliani as a crackpot at this point? Whether he's given his speeches at the Four Seasons landscaping between the crematorium and the dildo shop, or his hair dye running down, or his booger wiping handkerchief. Like he's losing in court every one of his cases. And not just losing, he's like embarrassed, making arguments for the wrong case at the wrong time, for things they're not supposed to be like looking at right now. He's bringing weird conspiracy theories in, and the judges are like, do you have any proof of this? And it's, they asked him, like, he's talking about fraudulent votes, and he's like, are you saying that these votes are fraudulent? No, I'm not saying that. And it's like, but you kind of did. And now you're arguing for something else. And basically what I think he's trying to do is get votes thrown out because he feels like the process was mistaken.
I haven't watched any of Rudy Giuliani or any of this stuff proceeding. Too busy getting decent at zombies. But like, he's like making cases trying to get audits and recounts?
Trump's lawyers fired Trump, right? Apparently they didn't want to be associated with him anymore. They walked. And so he instituted Giuliani as his lead attorney to fight this voter fraud stuff. But
it's too old.
There isn't any voter fraud, it would seem. There's no evidence of it. So what they're trying to argue is that some processes weren't followed. Maybe that the observers of the vote counts they were in the same room. That's the law. But I guess they felt like they weren't close enough in the same room. Or and they're trying to get votes thrown out very selectively. Usually just areas that are Democrat, like, here in Detroit and some other place, I forget. Let's get those votes thrown out. But the ones in the rest of the state, they were fine. We don't have any problem with that. And they're trying to throw out something like 7 million votes. And they're like, were these not cast by people who wanted to be voting? Like, yeah, I know they were, but we should just not look at those. And there's basically no chance, but they're making a show of it. And it seems like they've got a couple goals: raise money, just keep fleecing Trump fans of their cash, and create doubt. Let the Trump fans feel like there was something stolen from them, so that maybe in 2024 he has a run again, or he just has that outrage to keep feeding things.
There is no way he's still able to. There's no way he could fucking run again in 2024. He's too old. That's 4 years from now. What would we figure out? He's 73.
Do you really say there's no way with regards to Donald Trump? Like, I don't bet.
I just mean that, like, we've said it before, when you're that age, fucking drop of a hat, anything can happen. Giuliani could have literally died today, and it would have been like, That's what happens when you're 80.
I only half agree. I think when you're that age and you're fat, drop of a hat. When you're that age and you're thin, you slowly wither away. So with Trump, yeah, he might just. I think that one day we'll learn he had a cardiac event and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, if you told me he was running in 2024, here's how I think it goes. You've got the Trump fans, which make up, I'll make up a number, 40% of the Republican base. And then you have the other fans, the Paul Ryans, the other 60% split 6 ways, and Trump wins.
I would say Trump's percentage is bigger than that among Republicans. Like, so yeah, he could definitely fuck it up. I think he'll be too old and feeble by then. Like I'm
all right. Time for the long term bet.
It seems like we could do a long term bet.
$5. I have
$5 4 years from now. Dude, my guess is the Republicans are, because a lot of the establishment Republicans, McConnell, a lot of them, Paul Ryan, the kind of people Cruz, Rubio, they all fucking hate Trump.
2024 nominee will be Donald Trump. $20.
It's not. I doubt it will be.
No, take the bet.
All right, I'll take the bet.
Mark it down, historians.
4 years from now, because they're not. The Republican Party is not going to let an outsider get back in. They're going to run establishment neocons like Nikki Haley and Rubio and Cruz.
This reminds me of the time in 2016 when they didn't let Trump win.
Yeah.
Nobody thought.
This also reminds me that you both owe me $10 because Alex Trebek is dead.
Fuck.
Oh yeah,
You're right.